In this video, I'm going to talk about the patterns of some of the common pronouns used in Italian. I will be filling out a table to show you how they can be grouped in order to facilitate remembering them more easily, so we will start with the partially filled in table. Here we have some subject pronouns and what I am going to refer to as the strong pronouns, although other people may refer to them using other terms. Fortunately, most of them are the same as each other. As a subject, voi, noi, lui, lei and loro can mean these words in the column adjacent to them. Note that voi means you all, regardless of the level of familiarity. Lei can mean she or a polite version of you. As strong pronouns, they can mean the words on the adjacent column. The ones that are missing are io and tu. Tu is a familiar version of you when talking to one person. Me and te are the equivalent versions as strong pronouns. The subject pronouns are often omitted but are sometimes needed for clarity. Also, they can be used for emphasis. For example, I can say sono inglese, for I am English, but if I said io sono inglese, this is like saying I am English. We have to change the intonation of the voice, but in Italian it is not a requirement. The strong pronouns are used after prepositions, to clarify certain sentences and also for emphasis. For example, I can say dammelo for give it to me. I can also say dallo a me, which also means give it to me, but is now emphasizing the me part, as in give it to me. So, back to the table. We can fill in quite a few places with just 4 words. The words mi, ti, vi and ci are the same in the direct object, indirect object and reflexive columns. The direct object is used when talking directly about a person or thing. The indirect object is a little bit like an indirect reference, as in giving something to someone or buying something from someone. Objects receive the action of the verb. The reflexive pronouns are like the words that end in self, such as myself, yourself, etc. So the word me can mean either me, to me, or myself. Ti is a familiar version of you. Vi can mean you all, and ci can mean us, but be careful with this one as it can mean there. I shall give you examples of direct and indirect objects later. If I wanted to say I wash myself, I would say mi lavo. The lavo part means I wash, but I made it reflexive and use mi to show what I am washing. Italians avoid sentences with vi, ci, or si, so to say one washes oneself, you have a si situation that needs to be changed, giving us ci si lava. To complete the reflexive column, I will insert the word si. This can mean himself, herself, yourself, and themselves. This means that deve alzarsi can mean he, she, or you have to get up. Devono alzarsi means they have to get up. The strong pronoun version is se, an example of which is l'ha fatto da sé. He did it all by himself. In the direct object column, we have the words lo, la, li, and le. Lo for him, la for her, li for the masculine plural version, and le for the feminine plural version, so li and le both can mean them, but if the group is all female, use le. I like to work them out by thinking of regular plurals of words. Ragazzo can mean boy, ragazza can mean girl. I change the O to I to say ragazzi, and I can change the A to E to say ragazze. Personally, I use this same principle with the words lo and la, which works for me. In the indirect object column, we have the words gli and le. Gli can mean something like to him or to them. Le can mean to her or to you, although some may colloquially use li in this instance too. An example is Le ho detto la verità. I told her the truth. We have one column to fill in. These particular pronouns are used when you combine pronouns together. The short ones ending in I change to an E. Since li is a special combination of letters to represent a certain sound, it is not changed, but the E is appended to it, immediately followed by a pronoun. This gives us me, te, fe, che and ie. Also si changes to se before another pronoun and does not have an accent above the E. So, some combinations that could arise are melo, tela, iele, sele, cene or vela. I have omitted ne from the table. If you know French, it is like en, as in j'en veux. It can mean some or any, or is used in place of di and a noun, so you can use it to replace della porta or del tuo lavoro. For example, sono contento del tuo lavoro. I am happy with your work. Ne sono contento. I'm happy with it. If I wanted to say I offer it to you, I have to use te instead of ti and say te lo offro because I used two pronouns. If I wanted to say I must send it to him, I can either say devo mandarglielo or glielo devo mandare. This is an example where an E is appended to li. An example of a direct object pronoun in isolation is la conosco, which means do I know you? I would like to finish the video by talking about elision. This is a shortening of a pronoun before a following vowel. Most unstressed pronouns optionally allied before another word beginning with a vowel which is common in speech. In the written language, it is not as common. So here are some indications. Me and T often allied before a vowel, especially before I and E. Chi and V principally allied before essere, e, and the imperfect tense forms, so you would write c'ero, etc. This is optional for V, but mandatory for chi. The omission of I from chi is avoided in writing as you want to represent the sound of ch, so you would say c'hai visti. Li and le never allied, but lo and la optionally allied, especially with o and a. For example, l'ho comprato al mercato. Lo and la do not usually allied before other verbs beginning with a stressed vowel, especially with essere. Li allies before a word starting with I, and si allies most commonly before I. Ne rarely allies except before essere and its forms, for example, quanto ce n'è, which means how much of it is there. It sometimes allies before words beginning with I and E, especially when another unstressed pronoun is used, for example, se n'è andato subito, which means he went away immediately. Now, I think that's quite enough information for one video. I hope that I have helped you remember all these pronouns, and thank you for watching.